This is just a quick introduction to my new segment within this YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing a video podcast, and this video podcast is called Coffee with Ernie. I recorded this last week, and I was just winging it. So if there were some sentences that didn't make sense, or there were certain parts of the podcast, or video podcast, that didn't make sense, I do apologize. The more I do it, the better I get. And if you're listening to this in your favorite streaming platform, hello, welcome. This will be streaming on the Coffee with Ernie podcast, available at your favorite platform of podcasting. I don't really know the term for that. Enjoy watching this or listening to this. If you wanted to watch the visuals, go to my YouTube channel, which will be on the link in the description. If you are on my YouTube channel, why don't you also listen to the podcast version, because it will help me a lot. Because just, yeah. Alright, enough of me rambling along. Please like and share, follow, everything, because it means so much to me. Enjoy the podcast, and I will see you guys again next Wednesday for the next video or podcast or whatever I'll be doing. Hello and welcome to my very first attempt of a new series that I'm trying to roll out, make into a thing for my YouTube channel, and also, this is the first time, a solo podcast that I'm going to film and record by myself. The concept of this podcast / video podcast is basically me having a coffee with you guys whilst I answer and debate and talk about topics that I don't know. So basically, about a month ago, when I was planning how to revamp my social media presence, my YouTube channel, maybe going to podcasting, what is one thing that I can release quickly, efficiently, but at the same time also quite good, as in entertaining, interesting, insightful. So I thought, you know what, I used to do some sort of podcasting, and the work on it was just mainly just talking about something really interesting that should hopefully capture other people's imagination / interests, whatever. So I thought, why don't I combine the two? I'll make a video podcast for the YouTube channel and also make a new podcast. The podcast is going to be called Coffee with Ernie, and then within the video podcast, within my YouTube channel, it's just going to be a section called Coffee with Ernie. # Coffee for Ernie if you're watching this. Share this video out, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, follow it, download it. It will help a ton. Basically, the concept of this video podcast will be here. There are a few topics here, 50 to 60 topics that my other half made out of my interest that I like to talk about, and certain things that she thought would be interesting to everyone else. I don't know what's in here. To make things even more fair, because she doesn't live near me, she sent a post where all of this was all folded up and for me to put in a jar. I was that serious where I didn't want to know any of the topics, and I just wanted to know. I wanted the conversation to be free flowing and just on the spot. And also, of course, I couldn't title the podcast Coffee with Ernie without talking about my other favorite aspect of life, coffee. So this coffee is a Blanco Forte from Nespresso. Just recently got an espresso machine. I usually also do a French press or AeroPress, but you know what? This is my first time. Just got the machine. Why don't I treat myself? I'm not gonna lie, I did have this earlier on today. I'm recording this at 8 p.m. I know, quite late, but oh well. I'm gonna taste it again. Whoa! It's a strong kick with a hint of dark chocolate, which is quite nice. So the premise within this podcast is I talk for as long as this coffee is still here. Obviously within the podcast you won't be able to see it, but if you want to see the visual aspects on it, go to my YouTube channel, Ernie Saint. It'll be in the description. Alright, first time of doing this. Opening the jar up right now. I'm going to give it a little shake again. I have no idea what's one of the topics. I'm going to pick some of the ones at the bottom. Alright. Oh, it's stuck. Alright, here we go. I think that's one. So the very first topic of this podcast is: which is more important, doing the right thing or doing things the right way? Well, that can go into different forms of directions if you wanted to. So, looking back at it right now, what is more important, doing the right things or doing the... For me, if you wanted to play it safe, if you wanted to play it the safe game, you have to do things right. As if you're working in a job and if you're working for someone else, you want to cover your back. You want to ensure that you're ticking all the boxes and making sure that you're not compromising your role and everyone else's role. But if you are your own boss and you have your own directions, you can kind of do whatever you want within your sphere. I think doing things the right way will be better. But then if we're not talking about career-wise, just talking in life in general, doing things the right way, doing the right thing, it really depends on where your moral compass is and depending on the situation. Doing things the right way, from my perspective, entails your own opinion. There's no other external factors about the decisions that you're going to make. It's just down to you. Doing the right thing, I feel like, has more external factors pushing on to the final result. So doing the right thing for me would be, for example, if I wanted to save up for a house, the doing the right thing would be putting it in a savings account or premium bonds, whatever the best interest rate would be. Doing the right way would be saving to a point where I can also invest on myself. I feel like doing the right way is taking more risks on certain things. Doing the right thing is playing it safe, just because there's other external factors that might play into it. This is a hard one. It's hard to. It depends on also what kind of lifestyle that you live in. If you're that kind of person who does like to play it safe, then it is important to do the right thing at all times. Just because, like I said at the start, you're ticking every single box to ensure your role in whatever you do, as well as the other people that you work with. But then if you're quite adventurous, you like to take risks to a point, there's always a line of taking risks and just being stupid. And I think where a lot of social media influencers right now, where they promote taking risks, they promote living on the edge, which is fine. We should all live in some sort of risk factor and stress factor, but it takes a lot of trial and error to ensure that you know where the line of risk, where you can have optimum results, and then being utterly stupid and obnoxious and just outright just not doing the right thing. So within caution, you need to ensure, you need to evaluate everything in your life. I've been talking a lot. It's time to take a sip of this coffee. So, for my opinion, I think it really depends on a lot of things. From my perspective, I would like to do things my way, the right way. Because at the end of the day, you are the compass of your own life. You dictate all the ebbs and flows and what you do. And if you want to have a fulfilled life, if you want to get those goals that you've always wanted, you need to do things your way, the right way. But if you want to play things, if you want to do things right, and if you're working for other people and you just want to take minimal risk, you got to do the right thing. Other people might be like, oh mate, if you're doing always the right thing, you're playing it safe, you're not living life, you're not learning from your mistakes. And that's true. And I think life is finite. If you really want to have an impact on this world right now, you need to have the thought of thinking your life is finite. Your life is not permanent. Your life isn't always there, and you should never take life for granted. You need to ensure that every single day you should be grateful for what you have and what you're going to do. Right now, recording this at the end of 2020, we all live a very turbulent life right now, worldwide, not just, because we're living in a specific area, specific place. We all live in a very turbulent time, and we don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. And for those people who've been playing it safe, doing the right thing, even though it wasn't doing the right way of things from your perspective, maybe are slightly behind, sometimes you need to take that risk. Remember that line that I said? There is taking the risk where there is optimal results, and then just being outright stupid where you're not evaluating everything. That you can only identify that line with a lot of trial and error. It's easy for me to say, oh yeah, you have to trial this and that, because I've gone through so many things in life where I know where my line is. I know where my capabilities are, and I know what to do to maybe bump it up a little bit, where if I'm taking a higher risk, I know what to do because I'm competent at doing that thing. But you need to experience life for that, and you need to make mistakes. And the most important thing is you need to make mistakes before you know if you're doing something wrong or right. So that's why if you're let's say the age under 16, if you're listening, or maybe late teens, live your life. Yes, we are going through something. No one can predict what would happen the next year, 18 months. This is your time to shine. This is your time to prove to yourself and other people that no matter what happens globally, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay to provide for my family. I'm going to be okay to provide for my friends. I'm going to be okay to provide myself with a roof over my head and food on the table. Sometimes you need to make mistakes to get to that. And where do you start off? I always get a lot of people saying is, oh, I can't find the right job. I can't find the right role. I can't. That's looking things, if we're looking at this, I'm pointing at the coffee mug, glass half empty. Instead of saying, I can't, you need to say, I've learned from my mistakes and then I'm going to do. You need to have proactive actions for you to grow and have a better life, rather than always blaming and saying that you're limited. No one is ever limited to anything. Being hindered by something is just an illusion that the society has been given us. Everything is possible if you really, really want it. An example, the Paralympic Games. I'm sure when an ex-individual who has an arm impairment has been told multiple times by PE teachers, by professionals, you won't be able to do this, or this. Those people who commit their life to perform in the peak of their powers in Paralympic Games or any form of sport didn't have that negative aspect of life. They always had the can-do mentality. They did it the right way for themselves. If you put yourself in a person who has an arm impairment, let's say you only have one arm, I'm sure the doctors or physicians, whoever will look after you, will probably say, just take it easy, don't do too much, just look after yourself. That's doing the right thing. Making sure that you are safe at all times, because obviously you are limited to a point because you only have a arm instead of two. those people who do it the right way, their way, those are the ones who excel in life. Those are the ones who break the barriers of their social norm and social predictability. Those are the ones who says, you know what, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm going to be the first one to do X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to be the normal lot. I'm going to be the one performing at the peak of my powers, a peak of my ability, just to prove everyone wrong. And everyone should have that some sort of mentality if you want to succeed in life. Of course, I'm just talking in general. I'm talking very vague. But if you really want to make it in life, or have the perception of succeeding, you need to have some sort of fulfillment. You need that goal. You need that thing in life where that gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling, that motivation to, when you get up at 5 a.m., that motivation to do that extra hour of work, the extra hour of research, working out, filming and creating. You need that. You need to have fulfillment in life. And as this question says, what do you think is the right thing to do? Or the most important thing to do? Doing the right thing or doing the things the right way? If you want to succeed at your optimal, you should always do things the right way. If you want to play it safe, maybe you should just do the right things. Two different things might sound very similar to some people, but have a greater impact on the results of your life in the long term. All right. I've been talking for a very long time. The topic was so engrossed, I didn't even drink the coffee. But essentially, that is the format. I'll be drinking some of the coffee whilst I rant about a topic. That was good. Coffee was good. Topic was good. Hopefully what I said made sense to you guys. I felt like first I was also trying to get around the topic to explain it to you. This is all raw. I'm not going to cut anything. This is just all thinking on the spot on what I think about this topic. I think that went all right. If you agree on what I think, give it a like, drop a comment, or message me to say if I was wrong or if they disagree, and we can have a discussion. This new concept of mine is about discussion. No one is wrong, no one is right. It's just having a bit of fun and just talking about things in life. I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast. If you did enjoy it, please share it to all your friends and family. It does mean a lot to me. I know I'm just starting out, but every little thing, every like, every comment, every feedback does mean a lot. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. This was Coffee with Ernie, even though I didn't drink that much, but it's fantastic coffee. Thank you for listening to Coffee with Ernie. I will be uploading every Wednesday for December, seeing how it goes. If there is traction, hopefully I can continue on in January. We have a lot of topics to go through. Just keep safe. Hopefully things will get better in the world, and hopefully I can see you guys soon. Very, very soon.